Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessATrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a great Father's Day weekend. Hope everybody had a good trading session. If you are brand new to the channel, guys, thank you very much for spending, well, first of all, finding this, spending a couple of moments with us. Hopefully you guys are open-minded because I trade pivots, right? If you don't know what that is, you'll kind of get to know what it is over time. But thank you very much tuning in, spending 15 minutes with us, and hopefully you guys are doing well. All I ask is if you do like what we're doing, all I ask is take a second out, support the channel, click a like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. So let's talk about the tape. If you watch the weekend update, we talked about a scenario how wars are bad, right? They're bad. There's no other way to, sugarcoat it. They're bad. You saw last week gold surging, oil surging, a little bit of shakiness in the markets. But what you did see on Friday was a lot of stability and especially a lot of technology names. And we talked about on the weekend video how eventually, and I didn't think it was going to be today, but eventually what I thought was going to happen, just like every other geopolitical situation, any type of conflict, war, whatever the case may be, latest case in study, Russia and Ukraine, eventually the market gets kind of numb, right? Kind of numb to the headlines. And when you woke up this morning, futures weren't down 300-400 points. They weren't down 100 points. The futures were green. And slowly but surely, as you started seeing some pretty powerful headlines, and again, if you're like me, I just couldn't stop watching all that footage coming in from the Middle East. I mean, really, really scary stuff. I mean, people sitting there on the balconies watching missiles hit buildings right next to them, which is insane. But the most important point from the trading aspects, and again, you don't want to dehumanize anything. So I'm trying to be very, very sensitive. Again, obviously, nobody wants any type of conflict. But from the trading aspect, you kind of saw the futures start to negate bad news, which is crazy. And considering this is, only been a couple of days of pretty violent attacks, pretty violent missiles blowing up everything in sight. I mean, incredible footage. And this is the kind of the gift and the curse of the internet. You kind of see everything play out live. But the more and more news that came out throughout the day, stocks just got stronger and stronger. At some point, Iran came out and said, we're going to pretty much remove Israel off the map. I mean, that's an incredible statement, right? I'm obviously paraphrasing, and yada, yada, yada. Then Dow was up 300 points. The Nasdaq was up 300 points, and S&P was up 1%. Now, obviously, this is a very fluid situation. I think all of us can agree on that. And we are hoping for a scenario of cooler heads prevail. But from what I saw on Friday and what we saw today with equity prices, I mean, bulls are doing a pretty damn good job. Obviously, anything could happen overnight. By the time you watch this broadcast right now, it's 5 minutes to 5 o'clock Eastern time. Anything, literally anything can happen. But the point is, on the surface, the bulls did their job. And if you look at the individual stocks that we talked about through the weekend, man, stocks did incredibly well. There was a great pivot today on PLTR. We talked about it over the weekend video that 140 got rejected twice. Again, talk about the options flow with these symbols. And this is very, very important. PLTR, they started coming in for the August 180 calls. Okay, they weren't coming in for the 150s, 145s. They were coming in for the August 180 calls, pretty much repeat. And if you see the move that PLTR gave off the open, it was absolutely incredible. Guys, congratulations for you guys who caught the pivot. It pretty much confirmed opening range highs, the pre-market highs of 140.75, and traded all the way up to 145. Really, really big move. Meta, right? Meta had a really, really big day. Buyers were coming in for the weekly 720 calls. I saw that a few times today. Tomorrow, keep an eye on last week's highs. Very, very important. Today, it got rejected just a little bit shy off last week's highs, but this thing starts looking good. AMD that we talked about for the last several days broke out, man. Broke out pretty violently today above the supply. You can see, when was the last time you saw AMD up 10 points on a non-earnings day, right? Very, very violent move. They were coming for the July 130 calls pretty aggressively. Guys, look at the expansion channel on AMD and the volume. 100 million served today. So very, very important. Let's see, there's a follow through in the next couple of days. CRWV, right? CRWV, a buyer came in this morning, not only for the weekly 170s, okay? And there was a couple of buyers say they came in for the weekly 170s, but a buyer came in for the July $200 calls. Very aggressive. Stock took out a couple of days worth of range, a 3-day cycle. Give us a pretty good trade today. Stock closed at the highs. Now the question is, can CRWV, especially if there's any type of profit taking tomorrow, can they trap shorts at the bottom of the range, go red to green, take out today's channel, and push into last week's high? Something very, very important. NVIDIA, right? We talked about NVIDIA for the last couple of days, that 145 level. Guys, if you didn't trade NVIDIA today, just to give you an idea, it felt like the whole float was being turned over. Okay, 180 million shares traded today. It wasn't anything crazy for NVIDIA as far as volume. But if you watch the video, if you trade in the video, like, you know, I got long the video off the 45 area, traded up to 46 and change. That 45, I even give you guys a specific price over the weekend. But the point is, there was like, it felt like hundreds of million shares were being exchanged every second. It was very, very weird. But weekly buyers came in for the 47 and the 48s and the 49s. Let's see tomorrow if we could take out today's channel and start moving upwards. Amazon had itself a really, really strong day. And this is kind of my point of everything waking up despite the very aggressive conflict that's going on in the Middle East. Buyers came in for the 215, the 220 calls very aggressively throughout the whole day. It reclaimed back the 5-day moving average. And now let's see if it could start challenging last week's high in the 218s. Very, very nice move there as well. And Tesla. Let's talk about Tesla really quick. Tesla didn't do anything today, but that's a good thing, right? That's a very, very good thing. And the reason why I say that is, if you guys remember, the longer the distribution, especially with Tesla, the higher probability it will eventually wake up and do some damage to shorts. So if we're watching it and we're watching it in real time, and that's the most important part, right now the stock is putting in a very, very nice tomorrow will be a full week of distribution since it got rejected off the 20-day supply on June the 11th. The buyers were coming in, and this is the whole point. We always try to watch for the option flow. The options market is always going to dictate when a stock is lit up like a Christmas tree. The buyers came in today. They weren't coming in for the 335 weeklies. The buyers were coming in today for the 350 weeklies, which is 20 points out of the money, and the 350, 250 weeklies, which is obviously 22 and a half points out of the money. So the longer it goes sideways, and eventually if it starts getting back above the 20-day supply, and hopefully that will be tomorrow, if Tesla can get back above the 20-day supply, folks, look how much room we have. There's no supply till all the way up to 360. So, definitely top watch in the next couple of days on Tesla. So let me give you guys some names, obviously, to watch for tomorrow. I got to take my daughter to training. Let me give you guys some names for tomorrow. I like On Semiconductor. All the semis are pretty strong. On Semiconductor, we had a really nice pivot going all the way back to June the 3rd. Had a big run, is consolidating. Watch this thing. Watch this thing above last week's highs. This thing looks really, really good. I am definitely watching NVIDIA for continuation, AMD for continuation. I'm watching Meta ever since I started watching Meta today on the 720 weeklies. It definitely sparked my interest. Let's keep an eye on Meta for tomorrow, above last week's highs as well. Tesla is definitely my prime watch. for tomorrow as well. And CRWV that we talked about a few minutes ago. I want to see if we can get a little bit of profit taking at the open, potentially get some 60 minutes support. Maybe shorts can get trapped, goes red to green, starts attacking last week's high. So that's it. Just one quick note before I depart. Guys, we are 6 days away from the latest installment of the PS60 workshop. Again, if you are planning to come aboard, might as well take advantage. I mean, it's this Sunday coming up, 9 a.m. Eastern time. It will be recorded, obviously sent to everybody out shortly after, maybe the next day or so, and it will not be sent to the public till at least another year. So if you are interested in pivots, might as well take advantage of the refresher workshop this Sunday. Guys, God bless everybody. Have a great night and God's help. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.